I'm Joe Normal, and you're watching Guitar Tales with Dave Cohen and Scott Guitarmas Asengo. Have a rockin' day.
Wow, what a 2024 it was. And Scott and I have just a fun show in store for you tonight. We're going to talk about everything that we did here at Guitar Tales in 2024. But before we do that, we would love to thank our friends, Confections of a Rock Star. I can't wait to go there very, very soon. I'm not even waiting for summer. I'm not waiting for spring. I'm going now. Delicious desserts. And my favorite part that I always talk about, snacks for the puppy. Here we go. There it is. Snacks for the puppy. Pupcakes. And every bit is good. They've been away for a little bit, but our dear friends at Andy's Burgers, run by our friend Mike, are back. Their burgers. There it is.
This whole thing was kind of a test at the start. I'm nervous again, which is funny. I know it's going to be fine. I got two great guys in there tonight. I got Henry and Mark, and they're totally, those guys are rock stars. Yeah, we're back in Confections, and we're going to see what happens. It's just crazy that people are just they know it, they see it. There's a lot of repeat customers, which is the biggest compliment you can have. There's hype, but it's good. If you're coming back, that means you like it. And it's kind of got this weird cool factor behind it, which I love that because I am a marketing and branding guy, but the fact that it's working and people are really into it, that's what makes it more fun. Shit that I never thought would even happen, where got the cover of the Asbury Park Press and then the back of it in the food section, just a massive photo of us. People are going, wait, you're Andy? You're the burger guy? Granted, my name's not Andy, but they're you're the burger guy? And in 10 weekends, not even full weeks, to just have that and it's all organic. I didn't realize it when I was starting it. I was just let's just see if people like it. The media and the press, that's fun. But, I have to make a good product and the rest will just come.
Damn. Look at those burgers. Now, Scott, let me ask you this. Our great publicist, co-host, booker, great guitar player, and guitarmacist in residence, Scott, come on in.
Here we are again. Season 8.
Season 8, my friend.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Wait, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What gets you more jazzed, a good steak or a good burger?
Oh, man. No. Well, when you're drinking,
yeah, right,
that good drunk food, the burgers, but those burgers look like they're terrific for soberness and drunkenness.
They do. I'm more
hearty.
Oh, they look so good. And I mean, I'm a big In-Out Burger guy, even though I haven't been to LA in many years. Those look better. They look way better.
I'm on staycation next week. I'm going to have to make a visit to Mike.
Oh, my God.
Who's masquerading as Andy.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Slurp it, baby.
Wait, that's right, because Erin, Scott's wife, loves this noise.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year. 25 has gotten off to a really sad start and a scary start, but let's hope that as we get deeper into 25, it gets much better.
Yeah, no exploding automobiles, please, by my house.
I know. So we have a great show in store tonight, because tonight we're going to talk about sort of a wrap-up of everything that happened in 24. And you were sending me some stuff. We were busy in 24.
We want to be busy again.
Yeah, we do.
We're doing way too many intermezzo shows. We have to bring our guests back. But now that, the guests are settling into the new year, we're in touch with everybody. We're going to have to bend our schedules a little bit and get people on.
I will make it happen. We will make it happen.
A couple of great shows we're cooking up.
And 24, we have, you were talking to me earlier, we are both incentivized, and this is a tall order to top 24. There is that, I'll go in order of all your clips, but some of the things that got done in 24 were about as high as any show anywhere could get.
Yeah, once in a while we get the big fish. I don't know how we get them, but we get them. There's some backstories on how we got these famous people to come on our little show, which is becoming bigger, actually. We're approaching the 10,000 viewer mark on YouTube. That's our next level. I think we're at 9,200 now.
What was the 250,000 thing you sent me the other day? That was on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, the podcast audios are getting a lot of listens on a lot of.
So
views.
we were up to a 250,000 on
you know,
that.
listens or whatever.
But a 250,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. So people are hungry for our content.
Yeah. Well, we
as
try
well
to be
as those
authentic.
burgers.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, nobody guessed the guest. Should we reveal who this guest is, or should we keep playing the contest?
Yeah, we should. Because I want to know.
Let's keep playing the contest. If you know who this young man is,
I think I do.
Hit me up, Instagram, IM us, email us. There's a million ways to get in touch with us, and we'll give you some free stuff.
Is he a gentleman you and I were chatting about yesterday?
I don't think so.
Oh, all right. We were emailing about my brother.
No.
Oh, all right.
No,
so it's not Tommy Janarone.
No, it's a semi-famous, not semi-famous, legendary.
Oh, okay.
Musician who's been on the show. And that's all the clues I'm going to get you. So now I'm going to try to, with the magic of screen sharing, try to make this happen. So the first clip I have, we had a world premiere of our high school band video that we had. And we're commenting on top of the video, and we're commenting on top of the commenting. So we'll see how this goes. But the Phase, made their internet debut
before the internet existed.
Yeah. My recollection is we had to play to the pre-recorded song, and we didn't have any way to amplify it out of the camera, so we're trying to listen very, very carefully.
Wait, so if I talk now, it's like putting two mirrors in front of each other. Talking over talking.
Yeah, that's the Phase. I'm with my beard and my jacket, and there's Pete Short with a vest.
Looking very enthusiastic.
Yeah. Pete's celebrating a wedding anniversary today. I gave him a call.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I found some
clothes in the closet, and I said, "Here, put this on." And he went, "Okay." I still have those drums. Got them in 1977 for Christmas.
Every so often it got very nice. Groovy.
Yeah.
Me with hair.
Yeah. Something about, the beat wasn't super solid, but he was a saxophone player who took up playing drums, and it was just sort of his early days of playing drums.
But that was fun.
We're doing a show, watching our show. This is
I know we are.
Everybody's turning off as we speak.
I know. So, all right, let's move on to the next one.
My cheapo. I have 16 horrible seconds of video of a once great vocalist and man who's
I know this one
deteriorated so badly. I have very mixed feelings about watching this. Now, if you look at the comments section, this guy Scott Van Zen, too bad his name is Scott, he's a hater, and he says, "But you don't mind showing it again so you get clicks." I responded on behalf of the show.
Good.
Everyone is showing it. Some TikTok videos have been absolutely brutal. We had a laugh, but we gave respect to the guy who was an absolute legend, and I stand by that.
All right, I like it.
It's one of our most popular clips because everybody was, playing and goofing on Frankie Valli. But we had a little bit of our own take on it.
Yeah.
I actually first time I saw it, I actually almost cried.
Yeah. It was tough. He's like, let's move the furniture over there.
That sucks so bad. And that's my favorite guy.
Yeah.
That guy is super happy to be on the gig.
He is. He's
just dancing. But I mean, come on, man. What is going on there?
I think it's got to be a feel-good moment.
So we did a show about bands people hate, and I revealed on the Bands People Hate show that I don't like Bruce, and I'm not a fan of the Stones, and you were completely blown away. I was
flabbergasted by that. Yeah, not Bruce. I knew about Bruce. I knew you don't like Bruce, and a lot of people don't. But the Stones, I didn't quite get. And you're a Beatles guy, right?
Oh yeah, Beatles guy through and through. I got to say that I watched a Stevie Van Zandt documentary, and I absolutely love that guy now.
Yeah,
like I didn't think he was doing much of anything but sort of, riding the coattails of Bruce. And here he is. He's producing, he's writing songs, he's making movies, he's acting, and and I think we talk a little bit. The Sopranos is one of the clips I pulled tonight. But here we are talking about why people hate Yes.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Yeah.
Or just fumbling around with these different guitar solos and sounds and everything. If you're looking for a pop song to dance to, Yes is not your band.
No. And again, I'm a Yes fan. I think you are too.
Yeah.
But John Anderson's lyrics are just this weird meandering poetry, and it's cool. I don't know that he really knows what they mean. I think there's been interviews where he has said he doesn't really know what his lyrics mean.
He's a very spiritual guy. I don't know if he even has any religion. It's like,
but show me that again with your hands.
He might have created his own religion.
Yeah.
When I saw him in the '80s, he came out in this white frilly robe, and the microphone was attached to his belt, and he was just like, hey, we're all gonna be friends, and we're gonna be free. We're gonna be, That's my John Anderson impression.
I like it. He did good.
Don't get too close. You'll get sucked in. All this kind of weird stuff. I'm like, holy cow! Is this a church or a concert? Oh God, that was fun too. Goofing
it was
a little bit,
and I like the fact that online, a lot of people found themselves pretty engaged by that.
No, people are definitely commenting on that show, agreeing and disagreeing.
Yeah, and a lot of people just have their opinions.
But they didn't get as nasty as I thought they were going to be. Which is nice. We have a nice group of fans who are not too tough on us old guys.
No, that's true. and they weren't too tough on the bands we were talking about either. I don't think the haters really come on our page at all. Or
no, they're there, but they're sort of behaving themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Let's see what the next one is here. 2024 was busy. We had some monumental guests.
And it's interesting in terms of the themes of tonight's show. I'm finding
it's more from the bands that we hate.
Bands I really like, such as Rush. You take the deep dive. You're like, oh, there's some really weak material in there.
Yeah. Well, it can't all be.
I prepped for that show. I really did. No, it's like I think I was on the phone with you recently, and we were talking about some band where they just put out so much good stuff. Then you look at like McLean Stevenson. McLean Stevenson. No, that's right. That's right. Wait.
Give me Johnny Mandela plug. Who wrote
that's right. They did kill him off. Right. He was Honeycutt replaced him.
He wanted to get his own show called Hello Larry, and it tanked in in one season.
And
it's funny. Some guy wrote, "Sorry guys, Harry Morgan."
Right.
Colonel Potter was the guy that replaced him.
Oh, it was?
I don't know.
Yeah, he might be right. He right.
He was a big MASH. So the MASH fans came out and gave us some shit.
One thing I think I want to talk about right now is in 2023, Intermezzo didn't exist. So if you think about the evolution of our show, season 1 and a little bit into season 2, it was a live show.
Right.
The guests would come to our old studio. We would actually break bread with them. We would eat with them, because Riverview used to bring in food.
Yeah.
And then we would drink together. I'd walk in with wine, and we would go, or sometimes we had a little bit of scotch. And, then COVID hits and we went remote, but we were limiting ourselves to only shows when we had a live guest.
Right.
And then you and I came up with this. Actually, the idea was born of your wife, Erin, who said, you guys got to keep pumping out content.
Right.
And we also knew that every single time you and I talk, which is 100 times a week, it's a show. That's the running joke between us. So this whole concept of the intermezzo shows, which we're doing right now, we didn't have that in 2023.
Yeah, Dave never wore this heavy coat in the studio. It was too hot.
Yeah, I know. I'm freezing right now. And I realized the show we're going through that we just did, I was wearing a heavy coat too.
Yeah. Let's see what our next clip is.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I would order these are in. Oh God.
Yeah.
We had a goof on Corey because everybody's goofing on Corey, except we picked up on the drummer doing some really cool stuff.
And we both lamented the fact that he's got a flatter tummy than you and I do.
Yeah. When Corey saw this video, he was like, "Don't you ever show me up on stage again. You're out on your ass."
That guy's
He's twirling sticks. For those of you listening to the podcast and not seeing this, you really ought to see it on YouTube.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great.
The drummer's twirling sticks like a madman. He's showing off.
No, he's great. Corey does not
you got
like
a good
it.
talking to at the end of that gig.
It's funny. It's very funny.
Let's see what else we had. Oh, I love this guy. He was our first guy from Britain. No, our second person from Britain.
We've had a few from Britain.
Yeah.
We had Johnny Bullitt, who was in New York, but from Britain.
Yeah, so he was
Becky Baldwin, who was a woman.
He was a self-proclaimed pirate because he's got like a hook hand.
Yeah. Yeah, and I follow him on
guy.
Instagram. Yeah.
Phenomenal musician.
Yeah.
Peace Pirates was the name of the band, right?
Yep.
It's all there's no distinction from one end of the UK to the other. It's all the same to me. Yeah.
We were talking before the show. Our Dana Carvey, who follows me on Twitter for some reason, I don't know why, but he does these micro impressions, and he does an impression of Paul McCartney on Mars, and he goes, "I didn't know it'd be so red," and that's the whole impression.
Excellent.
So Dana, thank you for following me on Twitter, or X, or where the hell it is. Can we just stop calling it X already and just go back to Twitter?
We can.
Yeah,
we will.
Nobody's calling it X. It's over. Just go back.
I'll take care of it.
Why don't we call it Xander? How's that sound?
Oh, I like that.
You can still use the X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick with me, kid. I'll get you. So that's Keith Xander from Keith Xander.
He was great.
The Peace Pirates. What a great guy.
Yeah, I listen to his stuff.
He's definitely got a sense of humor about his appendage. When you're interviewing somebody, you don't want to address the elephant in the room, and we were careful, not to ask about it directly. He was very open about it. He had some very serious accidents as a kid. He was impaled by a fence, which had nothing to do with what happened to his hand. But he's got a little pick in there, and he's an amazing blues player.
Yeah,
he's really adapted, and he's able to perform. And hell, he plays better than I do. That's for damn sure.
He's a phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah, he
was a great guest. And one of the things I like is that we get to meet these really nice, interesting people. And he's on my feed every day. So every day I'm seeing something that he's created.
I'm going to say something that's kind of weird, but I'm a little starstruck sometimes when we have these internet stars, people I follow and watch, and now instead of a 2-minute video, perfectly done, and it looks really nice, and you just get to talk to them and see who the real person is.
It's super nice, and inevitably they always turn out to be nice folks.
Oh, absolutely,
always.
Absolutely. It's Keith Xander.
Yeah,
with an
super
X.
Nice guy. That's right.
Okay, so here's Mark Weiss, a legendary rock photographer.
Yep, that's right.
We had Mark on. Mark probably had about a bazillion more stories to tell. We didn't even scratch.
He knows everybody. He knows everybody.
Before and after the video, he'll put up stuff. I'm like, oh my God, he knows that guy. He knows that guy. He knows that guy. Yeah.
And like A-level.
And you would think this would be a launching pad for us to get other guests. We never pester other guests to get other guests. If that makes any sense.
No.
Once in a while it happens by accident. Like when we got Phil X, we were talking to the Tone King, and we said what a great guy Phil X was, and we made a little video snippet that we put out there, and it got Phil's attention.
Right.
But that generally doesn't happen. Mike Anthony commented on something that Phil was talking about him playing with.
That was amazing. Here we got the great Mike Anthony knows we exist.
So we're getting on the radar little by little of celebrity players, but a lot of our guests are not super well known, and that's what's the beauty of having them on the show. So in this clip, Mark is talking about how he got Ozzy Osbourne to get into a rabbit costume.
Oh, that was a
for
good
this
story.
Legendary picture that everybody's seen a million times.
Yeah.
That was kind of an accident, and the story behind that one was I was actually doing a photo shoot for Faces magazine, which is the new magazine in '83, and they just released Diary of a Madman, and we thought it would be cute to do a takeoff of Diary of a Mad Housewife. So
I love it.
So we're going to dress them up like a housewife, which is what we did.
Ironing board and everything, yeah.
The ironing board, and he ironed Amy, and that's that was that. But
I'm just noticing the look on that little k's face, the baby's face.
My photo studio in New York. And he walked in with Sharon and the baby Amy,
Sharon,
and said, "What's that over there, Mark?" And I looked over it, and I shared a studio with a commercial photographer. Okay. And I looked over there for the first time, and because I didn't even pay attention to it, and it was like a trestle, for flowers for like an Easter scene, and there was this bunny outfit, and I saw it there, and this guy Richard Roy was the photographer, and I just assumed it was his, and he had some kind of silly setup, and so Ozzy looked at it and looked at Sharon and goes, "What's that?" And he looked at me, "What's that for?" I go, "What do you mean?" I looked, and I said, "That's the photo shoot. That's what we're doing."
Ozzy put on the costume.
I know, it's great. It's absolutely great.
And these are the kind of stories that would pretty much be lost. I feel like. I mean, I know Mark's done other interview shows and so forth, but it's cool to think that maybe a young listener, to our show, or a young watcher of our show, who's seen that picture literally every Easter, it pops up that the guy who photographed that and the guy who thought of putting Ozzy in an Easter bunny costume was on our show.
I know, it's very cool. And and we're sort of cataloging the backstory of rock and roll, really, because we've had so many people on, inclusive of this year, where like at some point we might chat about, we had the guitarist and the bass player who play with Ace, right?
Yeah, we're gonna get to those guys.
And so people who, if you go to a concert, they're right in front of you. If you watch a video, they're on the video, but they just don't necessarily have names that are household names.
Right. But they definitely have stories to tell. I mean, you're touring with Ace.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've definitely got stories to tell.
Yeah.
And those guys are definitely, this guest leave his friends guys. I personal cell phone numbers of those two guys, and I just like send them a text and like, Happy New Year or Happy Birthday or Merry Christmas or whatever it is. Sorry to hear about the passing of your friend, and they're coming back in March, and they're like, you got to come to New York again. We're going to hang out.
Yeah. We had a beer with them in New York.
And we're going to do it again, I think, in 2025. Yeah. Let's see what our next shot is here.
John and Whistle's tone.
Oh, Rudy.
His own. He's able to tame.
Yeah.
Now talk about a guy that's just like done it all, seen it all, played it all.
Yeah.
Rudy's a legendary guy, and he just comes off so down to earth, and he's just having a conversation with a couple of guys that dig guitar.
Yeah. Quiet Riot. I mean, we grew up on Quiet Riot.
Yeah, Quiet Riot, Ozzy, Whitesnake. I mean,
he's someone we knew but didn't know our entire childhood, or teenagehood, really.
Yeah,
but
Rudy was definitely one of our most popular shows. If you haven't seen it, of course, all our shows are archived on YouTube. You can watch them whenever you want. But he went on to talk about immigrating to the United States from Cuba and
getting bullied.
Talked about hanging out with John Entwistle, which to us was like, you hung out with John Entwistle.
I know.
So here he is talking about John's tone and the way he had things set up, which was so incredibly loud that when Rudy tried to play the bass, it didn't go very well.
Right.
And that wild beast, which goes from the guitar to the amplifier, and he's taming it and controlling it. And it's masterful, really is. Yeah. So in order to get that tone, you have to go back to that. And first of all, I'm recording digitally. It ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna get the warmth or being in a recording studio with going to a Triton board or whatever they had at that time when they recorded that song. And all tube. It's all analog, everything, even the mastering. It's all went to tape. So to recapture that warmth, it's never going to really be there. So all I can do is approximate it somehow, some way.
I mean, he was just so knowledgeable about
and thoughtful about everything he said, really. None of them were sort of like, my PR person wants me to say this. It was just, it was good, organic, nice person. And,
but that's what, this is one of the guys that we got on a high level, that people do know. And the sad thing is, those are the videos that people respond to more because, oh, I know that guy, so I'm going to watch the show. Right. I would encourage everybody to watch the shows that the people you don't know.
Right.
because we learned so much. Be it Tone King, be it Anthony Parker, who is an internet guru.
Yeah.
If you're trying to put together, lessons online or whatever, you can learn so much.
Oh, you can.
From all our guests.
Some of the stories we've gotten. We had that one guest who told us about that he stole a guitar as a child.
Yeah, he was an electric violin player.
Yeah, and the funny thing is,
he saw the guitar was the most incredible thing he's ever seen, and he actually stole the electric guitar from school.
Right. Had to give it back eventually, but he had never shared that with anyone until our show.
Yeah, and he felt like, well, you're not going to get in trouble now. I wouldn't, worry about it.
Yeah.
So Rudy was a big guest. That was a special. We made a big deal out of it.
We did.
And he was just, again, one of those down to earth guys. Like, he'll reach out to me and say, Merry Christmas, or I love your. He's a huge fan of doggies. He's got a couple of dogs himself, and he's always promoting rescues.
Right, I remember that. Yeah.
You just never know, and he's just gonna drop me an email, and
yeah,
it's kind of cool, that. And he's the kind of guy, he'll remember us if we saw him backstage at a show.
Oh, absolutely.
He would absolutely remember us.
Yeah.
So let's see who else we've got here. Okay, so here's case in point. Nobody knows who Janet Robin is.
Right.
I'd say this is a Grammy award-winning artist.
Yeah, she was a riot too.
She worked with some of the best in the business.
Yep.
She's still working with some of the best in the business. She's a phenomenal guitar player, phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
And this is one of the shows I would encourage people to watch.
Oh my God, she was amazing. That was, a lot of the shows we'll do, and you just sort of pumped for a handful of hours afterwards, and that was one of them.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
So here she is talking about her Grammy.
It's got to be a boost emotionally,
Oh, yeah. Every time I walk by.
and if there's ever if you're good at beating,
I feel bad about myself. I just
that's what I was going to say. Yep. Yeah. If your self-esteem takes a hit, you can look at that.
I just, there was times I would think about it in my career, and I think, what? That's not going to happen. And again, mysterious ways, you don't know how things happen. So because people always ask me, what's your best tip to be successful or whatever, right? What does that mean? First of all, what does that mean? I'm paying my bills through playing music, teaching, whatever. It all has to do with the guitar. So for me, that's
success. Yeah.
And then so she also went on in the show. She went on to reveal, took us by surprise. She took lessons from the great Randy Rhoads.
That's right. That came out of nowhere.
We're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So we went down that whole rabbit hole.
And she was at the funeral.
Incredible. Incredible stories and an incredible career that's still continuing now. She's got this acoustic act to go around, and she was wonderful. Janet Robin, check her out. So let's see what else we've got here. Okay, Anthony Gomes, my man.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, Anthony, phenomenal blues player, phenomenal voice. If you don't know Anthony Gomes, just Google him now.
He turned out to be such a nice guy. No
and
surprise.
You will be completely floored.
Yep.
And what happens in the blues world, because I am a blues fan and I love blues artists, old and young. A lot of them that guy sounds like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oh, that guy sounds like B.B. King. Oh, that guy. Anthony sounds like Anthony Gomes.
Right.
He's got a little metal in there. He's got some blues in there. And this is what he's talking about in this clip. Because the blues aficionados and the purists are like, well, it's a little too much rock going on in there for my taste. And are you rock? Are you blues? Well,
here's his answer.
For blues, you got to choose. You got to make a choice. And my choice, what are you? And my answer now is yes.
I love it.
Yeah,
and it's very good.
Yeah, it takes a lot of stupidity or courage or a combination of the both to have the balls to say that you.
Yeah, I mean, I was gushing a little bit, but I was a fan, and then to have him on the show, I was like, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah, and he was thoughtful and insightful. both of those things.
And he's another guy that's just busy. He toured in 2024. He was all over the place. So we missed his show in New Jersey. I was so pissed I had to work that day.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I would have loved to hang out with him and see his live show. He's very, very energetic and very charismatic on stage. And he's just a three-piece.
That's
bass, him on guitar with the singing, and the drummer, and that's it. And they kill it.
When they could fill the sound with three people, that's one of my favorite things.
Oh, he's incredible.
Yeah.
So we really love to have Anthony on. So
here we go.
Here's one of the guys.
Yeah, that's
Jeremy
right.
Asbrock is the guitar player that toured with Ace in 2024 and again in 2025. I think we brought these guys on after we had Ace on, but
we did.
Ace didn't get us them. I think they expressed an interest to be on the show because they're artists for the Vintage Guitar Company we had on last year.
That's right. That's right. And they're also famous for having had a beer with you and I.
We met them in New York City at the Sony Theater.
Yep.
We were there to see Ace Frehley. I texted Ryan, the other fellow, Ryan Cook, said, "Hey, we're here." It was rainy. It was nasty out. He sent like one of the pages out front. He's looking around. I'm like, I think that guy's looking for us. And my wife's like, I know he's looking for us. I know the look. He's looking for us.
Yeah.
He goes, "Hey, you Scott?" "Yes." "Okay, come with me." He gave me a laminate. We went backstage. We're hanging out, watch everybody set up. And then there was shit all over the stage, on the stage and on the dance floor, where, wherever the people were going to stand. And this guy gets on the mic, goes, "Okay, Ace is in the building. Everybody needs to back away. Everybody clear the floor. Get all this garbage. Get these coats out of here." Well, oh, it was like a big deal. Like he was there and he was arriving, and we're like, "Oh my God, is it okay if I stand over here?" Right? We didn't know where to stand.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great, though. We had a fantastic time. So, since Jeremy is primarily the rhythm guitar player of the band, because Ace plays all the solos, he feels the need to challenge himself on the off times.
That's right.
He plays all the leads. I just play rhythm, so I gotta do some stuff to stay sharp. And I've been focusing on the stuff that I'm not good at or I can't do.
Right.
I just figured, enough's enough. Like I need to. I can't hybrid pick, so I've been forcing myself to learn some hybrid. Like where you pick and use your middle finger also.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's the thing about our guitar playing. No matter how many years you play, you're always learning, right? You can always find something. Like we had Bumblefoot on yesterday. Guy plays a fretless neck and a regular standard neck, double neck thing, and he's learning Spandau Ballet songs, and really, really learning them. Like
he was taking them apart. Yeah, it was amazing.
And we were like, "Wow, I never heard." Yeah, so I mean, you can always. It just goes to show you how he's being very humble and upfront with us. You may not get that from a super celebrity guitar player.
No,
they may not be humble enough to say, "Well, yeah, that lick I copped that off of Joe Walsh."
Yeah, and the other thing is, at that level, I'm sure they're so cautious that you don't get the level of candor. That candor.
Isn't that at the department store?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. No, it's a bird in Montana, candor, beautiful candor. No, but that level of candor, I think when someone is very successful but not famous successful, there's just there's the freedom.
Their guard is a little bit lower.
That's the word. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Jeremy is a phenomenal player. He's got an amazing looking guitar. We got to talk about that and see him play it in action.
Yeah.
He has a Blue Sparkle Firebird, which was just sounded amazing, and it's a gorgeous looking guitar.
Yeah.
And those guys are terrific.
They really are.
I might add that a lot of these guys, I hit them up for your birthday wish.
Oh my God, that's right.
2024, and they all sent me videos.
They did.
And I saved my favorite video birthday wish clip for you to play again tonight.
Oh, okay.
It's in the list here somewhere.
All right, good.
He uses the word whom.
Speaking of.
Okay, well, you know what?
So here's super celebrity guitar player Ron Bumblefoot.
Very
just alluded
famous
to
in the
video before. I talked about Ron playing a fretless neck in a standard neck, double neck thing, right? So he's in a band called Whom Gods Destroy, and Dave was goofing on him a little bit, like whom. He's a guy that uses the word whom.
Yeah.
And he's so knowledgeable and so learned. You knew there had to be a backstory.
Yep. And holy shit,
and here it is.
Whom Gods Destroy. Do you know where that name came from?
I do not.
It is the name of an old original Star Trek episode.
Oh my God, I was totally going to say that.
And I'm such a Trekkie.
Okay,
and I didn't say anything. I said, "There's no way from Star Trek."
The Green Woman, Marta.
Yeah.
Every young dude remembers her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember her.
She went on to play Batgirl.
Almost as much as I remember the two-handed punch. Remember that?
So we had a great time with Ron,
We
and
did.
he also brought back Sierra Levesque, who's Ron's her guitar teacher.
Oh, that's right. She did a little segment with us on the show.
Sierra's now 16 years old, and she's doing amazing things. She's writing songs. She's opening up for hockey games and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, she's becoming very successful.
You know, reminds me of Mariah Famika. That we saw her. Just starting out, and now all of a sudden they're opening up for Disturbed, and
she's
making records.
two or a 3-time guest. I think she's a 2-time guest.
Yeah, she's terrific. Yeah. So we had Ron on 2024. Ron was also gracious enough to give you a happy birthday song.
It was very cool
that he sang for you.
It was very cool.
And all your friends at the party, like, Ron Bumblefoot? Oh yeah, we go way back.
We go way back.
Ronnie and I, forget it.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, there's Sierra.
Somebody on the screen is not a Beatles fan. I'm not going to say.
No, I don't know. It must be Dave. He looks pretty suspicious over there.
Well, there's a little bit of truth to that. I get in fights with people because I think the Beatles are objectively better than the Stones, and I love the Stones, and I like the Beatles. I don't love the Beatles.
All right, let's kick them out of here.
Yeah.
You're lucky Ron didn't just log off the show.
That's
right.
right.
There because he's a huge Beatles fan.
Yeah.
But Ron taught me something that I took away from that interview. Don't shit on any little songs. Like, that's trite. That's a pop song. That's crap. And he goes, you dissect that song and you listen carefully to what's going on there.
Yeah, Spandau Ballet.
You can learn something. He had to play guitar for the Spandau Ballet guy.
Yeah.
He was leaving on a jet like the next day, and we're like, Spandau Ballet. They hired you to do that. He goes, let me show you something. And he was like, look at how intricate these chords are.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
crazy.
You know what? He's right. He's right.
Yeah.
That's why he's great. That's why he's the best there is.
And we learn from our guests, which is really cool.
We do. We learned a lot from Anthony Parker about doing little clips and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's our next one? I can hardly wait.
Let's
This
see.
is a warning. First.
Okay. So we got in touch with Stallone Guitars. Frank Stallone has his own guitar company.
Yo, Adrian.
We were really gunning for Frank Stallone.
I ain't never been scared before.
To be 100% honest.
Yeah.
And they sent us Jeremy Laura, who's like their
PR guy,
or whatever. And he actually helped design some of the guitars. And he turned out to be very knowledgeable and a great guest. And here's another one of those things where he taught us something. He had this thought that your first guitar is like your first love.
Yeah.
The first guitar you buy and love will mess you up forever. It's like the first person you date. It will mess your life up forever. You will never be the same. And so my first guitar was, oh my gosh, it's this hideous Strat I got on eBay for $80. The flaming head of Jerry Garcia spray painted on it. And one pickup. It was gross. But the scale and the feel, so I switched to an LP because Jimmy Page,
Right.
Then I got longer scales. Like, no, that's what feels right.
Yeah, so he had some interesting things to say.
He really
about
did.
Guitar design and working with Frank, and
Now we learned something from that show, because you and I had to stay on our toes because his internet connection, what the clip you just played was one of the few times that we could hear him well.
Right.
I remember that show.
Yeah, we had a few shows where people, we tell them in advance, you need a good internet connection. Don't dial into the show on your phone. But
they do.
Sometimes they do anyway, and that's the sound gets really choppy.
So we had to really pay attention. In the sense that, it's almost like if you're in a crowded bar and you're chatting with someone and you can't hear them too well, you pick out certain words to try to figure out what they're saying.
Yeah.
And we did it, but that was the show I remember. I was exhausted after that show because we had to work so hard to hear him, understand what he was saying, and then react to what we assumed but didn't know that he was saying.
It reminds me of the angry sound guy we had him on.
Yep. I still follow him all the time.
He was so pissed at himself. I'm a sound guy, and I had the shittiest. I said, because you dialed in with your phone.
Yeah.
It's like, we had artists dial in from their phone from a hotel room.
Yeah.
That's excusable. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
But he was pretty upset with himself. He wanted to do the whole show again. So, well, the magic's already out of the can. You can't duplicate it.
Yeah. When I remember in season 2 or 3 during COVID, we captured lightning in a bottle with our friend, the actor from LA.
Yeah.
And at the end of the show, we realized I never hit record.
Yeah, Alex Scooby.
That's right. I had a mental block.
I had to play it again. That's before I was on the board, as they say now.
Yeah, that was all on me. I own that.
Yeah. That's all right. We were all stressed out from COVID.
Yeah.
It's a shame because his wife was on the first one.
Who's a famous actress.
Pretty famous actress.
Parks and Rec and things like that.
Yeah, and then she didn't want to do it again.
No.
So this is the only birthday wish I included in tonight's retrospective.
Okay.
Because first of all, I love Big Daddy Abel.
Yeah.
He's calling in from his phone on location at a gig on probably during a break or right before the show. And he's so goddamn clever.
He is. He really is.
Funny. He was our second guest ever on Guitar Tales. I was the first.
Yep,
and
he was the second ever.
He always likes to point out he's number 2.
He likes that double entendre.
We used to end the show with them doing a Queen song, but the Queen song was so good it got sniffed out and silenced our entire show, so we had to stop using the clip.
Which is
hold unfortunate.
On. That's funny.
So here's Big Daddy giving you a birthday wish.
I wanted to wish you a happy birthday. I'll never forget that. Actually, I'll be forever known as the unflushable number 2 on that wonderful little show of yours. I hope you're having a wonderful birthday. I got you a little something. I wrapped it up, but the problem is UPS doesn't want to ship it, and I really can't afford shipping. So come on down here to the Jetty in Kent Narrows, Maryland, and pick it up. It's just sitting there waiting. Happy birthday.
That was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
And he panned the camera and everything. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So that was a laugh out loud moment at the party.
It was. They're
like, who's that guy again? Is he really Amish? The Amish Outlaws. Check them out. AmishOutlaws.com. They tour practically the entire Eastern Seaboard.
They do. And by the way, if you remember, a friend of mine, I forgot who I was just talking to, who finally started watching Oz.
Yeah. Oh, he's on Oz. Yeah. The HBO show. He played a prisoner.
Yeah. It's all 6'7" of them.
Yeah. He talked about in the first show how he got a little acting bug there for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. This is our first guest from Italy. And we asked him to Sabo. We asked him to say hi to all our fans in Italy. I don't know if we have any. Maybe after the show. Sabo got us a few. So he joined us live from Milan. We had to get up early in the day.
We didn't wake up early, but we taped early. We taped at like 10 in the morning.
4:30 in the afternoon or 10:30 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just find it fascinating that he just rattled off this salutation in Italian for all.
It was very
in
cool.
Italy.
Yep.
Our fans in Italy, in Italia, you can go ahead and say that now if you'd like.
Ok, Ciao ragazzi, io sono felicissimo di essere stato invitato da Guitar Tales dai miei amici Dave e Scott e ovviamente parleremo in inglese, ma spero capiate tutto quello che avremo da dirci.
See?
Oh, I love it. I love it. He was
all I
fun.
heard is like jigga 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 guitar tales jigga 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 David Scott.
That's right.
You know, I thought that was hilarious.
It was very good.
You know, it's funny that after that show aired, we did pick up a couple of people from Italy who asked us to put Italian subtitles for the show.
Well, that would be good. Now, if you remember,
which we did abide by, we did hook them up.
Exactly 2 years ago, and I mean exactly 2 years ago, I went with my daughter to Iceland, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I was watching our show during downtime from there.
Yeah.
But for a 1 week frame of time, we were the #1 music podcast in Iceland. And
I remember that.
We got we subscribed to it's called Chartus or something, Chart something.
Yeah.
And so every we get these emails that give us the stats on where we stand.
Right.
And ever so briefly, I looked up Iceland because I had just come back from there, and we were the #1 music podcast in the entire country.
Go figure.
For a week. Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll get more traction in Italy.
Yeah.
A phenomenal guest, and I've been his artist.
That's right.
So
that's
he
right.
does a lot of clinics. He goes to NAMM. Maybe we'll run into him in NAMM in the United States. Super talented guy. We're fun having him on the show.
Yeah.
A youngster.
Yeah, that's right. I remember him. He was
Dallas Russo, who we ran into at the Ace Frehley show in New York City, and his dad.
That's right.
And his dad and my dad were friends. And my father was sort of not pressuring me to have him on, but you heard Dallas Russo. Well, I don't know, he's only 14. I don't know if he's going to have much to say. Well, boy, was I wrong. He had a lot to say.
Yeah.
And it was good to hear from the younger generation who's carrying the torch, as it were, for all us rock and rollers.
Right. Absolutely.
So we had questions about, in his young career as a guitar player, and by the way, phenomenal guitar player.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
You're 14 years old. How'd you get so good so quick? What do you do?
Yeah.
Usually, like when I play, I'm not note for note on everything.
Right.
But like I find my way through it, and most of the time it's like pretty accurate.
Because I'm gonna cover a band, and when I learn songs for the band, unless the solo's really iconic, I'll kind of put my own spin on it. That's a show we had to do a lot of the talking.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
to draw things out. That is the he's got 14 years of guitar playing, but I mean, he didn't start when he was 1, right? So he's been playing guitar for I don't know.
No, and
10 years, 4 years,
and he has
I don't even know.
the wisdom of a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So and more than you or I had at 14, but it's still
we carried him a little bit, but we had a great conversation.
Yeah, and a nice young kid.
He got the attention of a lot of our younger fans. And he's playing with Kobe Reese, and they've played the Pony, and they've opened up for some big bands, and they hobnob and hang out with some big guitar celebrities, Snake Sabo and Zach Weil, and Dallas has got his picture taken with just a very great guitar player to think of.
I know, it's very cool.
So keep an eye and an ear out for Dallas Russo and the Kobe Reese band. What we got next here? So here's Brian Tarquin. Who? Right.
Yeah, he was great
this
too.
This is a common, thread on our little discussion here for the year 2024. Bringing on people we think would be interesting guests. Brian was
he was very accomplished.
Very accomplished guy. He's got 3 Emmys under his belt. 3.
It was unbelievable.
And he's got the awards behind him. So we chatted a little bit about his accomplishments.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But not just once. Like, how does that happen? See, I mean, what are you doing each year? Because it's 2002, 2003. You got ripped off in 2004, as far as I'm concerned. But then you came back in 2005.
Maybe many people don't know this, but I actually won. I just couldn't make the show.
Yeah,
I wasn't there. I had Brian accept my award for me.
Yeah, but what are you doing that really distinguished you? And I'm going to guess that no one from that show won in other years before you when you kind of raised their game a bit.
Well, they did win, and the way it was like a group of composers. There were, I was part of a group of composers doing the music for the show. So, and then the music supervisor and the music editor. I think during that period of time, that's when they were raising the game, and they were, bringing people in and doing a lot better than they had. So, I guess it's one of those things where it kind of goes in cycles. Where some guys, have like 10 of these. Okay.
Really?
That's amazing. I have. Yeah, he's very calm, and he's played with some major.
Oh my God!
Major talent. I can't remember. I mean. Wish I could remember some of the famous guitar players. Did he play with?
Funny. I just Googled him. Hang on. Let's see. Jazz fusion guitar player. Let's see. I'm looking to see who. Larry Coryell, Joe Satriani, Eric Johnson, Jean-Luc Ponty. Wow.
Yeah.
Steve Morse. He's been with Steve Morse.
Right. We talked about that.
He's been with Bumblefoot.
Yeah.
Let's see, Leslie West.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's been with some of the top people.
Yeah, he was an incredible guest. Now he had audio issues too because he dialed in on his phone.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Remember, kids,
that's
don't dial,
right.
If Scott and Dave ask you to be on Guitar Tales, don't dial in on your phone.
That's right.
Get on the laptop.
It's never the kids; it's the old people.
Yeah. Here is the next clip. So. One of the things, one of the stories that came up, as they often do, in my little world, we were talking about The Sopranos, and this is my little story of what happened when I figured out what The Sopranos were.
The Sopranos?
Really?
Jersey guys, Bruce and
Yes.
Stevie Van Zandt.
They were fabulous. He's of course playing his telly.
Yeah, and
he's beating up old telly.
An early or an older
Les Paul, right?
Les Paul. This is from our Super Bowl show, which is very popular. Maybe it's a good time to tell
Yes.
my Steve Van Zandt Sopranos story because the
Oh, yeah.
Sopranos were celebrating their
25th, right?
Anniversary.
Yeah.
So the very first Sunday that show is on, Tico Torres, the drummer from Bon Jovi's a friend of the family, was over for dinner or something on Sunday. And we're standing on the porch, chit-jabbing with my father and everybody, and he goes, "Oh crap, what time is it?" I go, my friend Stevie Van Zandt's going to be on this show on HBO called The Sopranos." I'm like, "Oh wow, all right, yeah, we have HBO. Let's go inside." I go, "What's it about? Is it like a modern day Partridge Family kind of thing?" The Sopranos, and he goes, "No, it's about New Jersey mobsters and stuff." And I go. And it's called The Sopranos? Is it a
you're thinking the musical.
Yeah, is it a comedy?
All right.
And wait, what does he do? He plays.
You call it a comedy one more time, I'll whack you.
He plays like a mob guy. I'm like, oh. I'm thinking
he was fabulous in that show.
Can't possibly be it. There's no way he can act too, right? Can he be that talented? Yeah. Well, of course, history shows the minute I tuned in, I was blown away with Stevie. Yeah. Stevie would tell you himself that he goes, "I'm not a trained actor. I don't want to take any work away from anybody."
Yeah, he seems like that kind of guy.
And they wrote that part for him.
Yeah, and then he had that short-lived show also on HBO. He played sort of a fish out of water in England. Or Scotland.
He was in Norway or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, and he had to recreate his life somewhere in Europe.
Yeah.
And I forgot the name of the show, but he was sort of, I don't know, I think he might have even played a mobster of some sort.
Yeah, no, he was. I think it was in a witness protection or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of the name of the show, so it starts with a V. Anyway, great. It was a very good show, too. Yeah. I watched the special about him, and I tell you, I just have such a new respect for him and his career.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Maybe we'll have him on.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Looking for rock and roll info back in the day.
We were looking at some of your bio notes, and it just brings me back, looking at, like we started talking about, looking at records and stuff.
Ryan Cook.
Yeah, that's Ryan Cook.
Frehley's
so
band.
he's Ryan Cook, guitar player turned bassist for Ace's band. He played bass with the Gene Simmons band, and when Gene was done with the band, he goes, Ace, you might as well just use this band.
Yeah,
and that's how they got the gig.
For whatever antipathy clearly exists between Ace and Gene, the way Ace described it, Gene was pretty generous about that.
Yeah.
And I guess it's a sufficiently complicated relationship where Ace is going to give Gene credit where credit's due.
Yeah. But Ryan said he was very careful not to, just because Gene said, oh, yeah, go ahead. He's hey, man, you sent a little email. You meant what you said? Is that cool that we do that? The break, you don't want to, you don't want to blow that gig.
No. But he did. He ended up jamming with both bands. So we are, you and I, by the way, that makes us the bridge between Gene and Ace since we've had Ryan on.
Yeah. So Ryan talking about the old days and getting guitar information and information about rock and roll. Circus Magazine, right?
Bible.
Right. In town here, we had the Aquarian, which was a bunch of local bands.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and on TV, you had Don Kirshner's rock concert, Midnight Special. SNL. Now it depends who was on SNL that week, but that was a big thing. You didn't have YouTube where you could see a live performance. You had to wait, and tune in exactly at the right time.
So let me ask you guys this, since I know you're supposed to be asking me stuff, but okay. So having Circus Magazine, Hit Parader Magazine,
yes,
Cream,
okay. Yeah.
Those were my three favorites, and then I had Don Kirshner's rock concert and Midnight Special.
Right.
So, do you remember? And this is what I used to do: is run to the newsstand, and it only happened once a month because you had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
That was for the three of us. That was our window.
Yes.
Into the music world, and you didn't know anything until the next issue came out.
Yeah. I mean, that was fun to talk about. The old days and where we got our information from.
He was a big personality in a very good way.
Oh, terrific guy.
Yeah, really good guy. Fun to hang out with, but just very social and very comfortable in his own skin.
And of course, our biggest guest and our most popular show of 2024 was
Ace Frehley.
And we had Ace on.
Do you know how many times I practiced saying Frehley instead of Frehley? I was so nervous about getting that right.
If there was any show, I thought that was like, screw this stupid show. I'm done. I didn't want to say anything to upset him.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to, blow smoke up his ass for the entire interview either. We didn't do too many Kiss questions.
No, we
wanted
tried
to know about him and his guitar style and his new record at the time, 10,000 Volts.
And it was a lot to put that together, not in terms of necessarily the mechanics of the show, but, we were working around, he would probably describe himself as a down-to-earth diva, maybe, He seems like a great, great guy, and he's down-to-earth, but, someone who truly has handlers,
Yeah.
And he wants things in a certain way, and he is a legit international celebrity.
We were concerned that, left to his own devices, that he wouldn't be able to log on.
Yep. Yeah. So we had, and then we later learned that he knows more about electronics than you and I put together.
Exactly. The moment his girlfriend at the time, he said, my girlfriend went to get her hair done. And I'll be on, I'll be ready. He needed an early show, right? He needed to do it like 11:30 in the morning or something.
Yeah. We were working very much around him. And, interviewing him, he's got a very specific personality. He's got a very specific speaking style. And I think it's from not a lifetime, but, for a few decades of people working around that. And we worked around it. Yeah. He turned out to be a thoughtful guy, a smart guy.
Yeah.
Did not rush us off. I think we probably went 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, we thought that he's going to wrap it up and just disappear, but he actually had a great time chatting with us. He gave us some really cool inside stories and personally invited us to come see the show in New York City.
Yep.
Oddly enough, though, when we got to the show, we hung out with Ryan and Jeremy most of the time. We didn't get to hang out with Ace.
No.
He was tucked away in the green room. He's so inundated with this fan base. They love him so much. Sign this, sign that. What do you think of this? What was like? It's just constantly being, I hate to use the word badgered, but he is being badgered by his fans. He needed to pretty much disappear. And then he did the show, and the show was over and disappeared again. So,
well, I saw him through one of the people who helped us set up the show the summer prior. So I think the summer of 23, maybe even 22. And it was at the old Palladium. So I was able to get backstage, and the insiders created a line that was probably 75 people long. We weren't really insiders at all.
Yeah.
And I just, in terms of when I got there, so I was legitimately backstage, but a lot of people are backstage. So I was toward the end of the line. And by the time I got there, I just saw a very earnest, exhausted man who had nothing left in the tank. And he was trying so hard to be kind to everyone else. When I did the obligatory group shot with my two friends, I was on the outside. I wasn't even next to him. And he was oblivious to it.
He told us on the show he hates traveling.
Yeah.
He hates, packing and unpacking a suitcase.
Yeah.
And all the interviews and all the hype and everything else. But the easiest part for him is to do the show.
Right.
And that's the most fun.
But he leaves it all on the stage, which you want him to do. And then, so after the show, there was nothing left in that man. And he's not a spring chicken. He's in better shape than I probably am now.
Yeah.
But he left it all on the stage.
Yeah,
so for us, he gave us, I was so appreciative. He gave us as much time. I think we were wrapping it up.
Yeah. We really rolled out the red carpet for him. We made a big special, and we hyped it up before the show. We had some really great spots.
Right, you did that great intro.
Yeah,
the 10,000
the 10,000 volts bit from Abbott and Costello, which got sniffed out. We had to change it and fix it.
Yeah,
Bud and Lou needed their cut, I guess. Anyway, so here's the clip. The clip is he revealed to us that when they were coming up with their makeup, that Paul originally had a different thing in mind for his makeup, and this is what he said.
When we all decided we wanted to be a theatrical rock group,
everybody
had to pick a character. Peter was fascinated with cats. Gene liked his horror films. I liked my sci-fi movies, and Paul, was the front man and the lover, whatever. Yeah, nobody really.
You were the lover in the band. You just weren't advertising it.
Very few people know this, and he'll probably deny it. But, when we were playing the Daisy in Long Island, it was a club where we developed our makeup. He had whiteface on with the red lipstick, and he used to have a circle around his eye, like the dog from The Little Rascal. And I had developed the silver stars.
Right.
Which I was really happy with. And Gene's makeup was coming along great. Peter needed a little help. Yeah. But, I said to Paul one night, why don't you, instead of the circle, why don't you put a star?
Yeah.
Oh, so you really...
he's wearing a star.
So he could have been Petey, but then he went with Paul. So Paul could have been Petey.
Yeah,
a circle around the eye, but
that's right.
He went with the other thing.
It went a little better than that, and the rest is history, and the rest is some really big bank accounts.
So a tremendous 2024.
I know.
I don't know if we can live up to the hype, but we're going to sure try.
Oh, we are. We have some good things going on, and we can't talk about all of them now, but really good things lined up. And we'll keep I love these intermezzos. I limited myself to one glass of wine.
We're going to do a band wife show because my wife can't wait to get on here and throw me under the bus, the tour bus.
That's right.
We're going to do a Who special, maybe.
We have to do it.
We're going to talk to our friend Mooch from Big Bang Baby, who's on one of the studio shows.
A man without any opinions.
Yeah, a little outspoken, which is great. He's going to be talking about how technology and AI is ruining music.
Yep. And we also booked AI to be on the same show with him.
Yeah. We're going to bring on a locally famous DJ to come on the show and chat. We got another famous rock and roll comic is going to come on and chat with us. He finally has a break between now and March.
And there is some talk of maybe some live on the scene shows that we've been kicking that around for a few years now, and I'm committed to trying to
won't
make
be
that
easy
happen.
to do, but we think we could pull it off. We certainly have enough friends in the business that can help us with that.
Yeah, and we could do, when the summer breaks, we'll do some live shows over the water at my house.
Yeah, sitting in the chair with the breeze. You had quite a storm there the other day. Holy moly.
We did. Yeah, I sent you that video. Yeah, it was crazy.
So since we can't end the show with Big Daddy Abel because we get sniffed out with We Are the Champions, we'll end it with Jeremy Asbrock and Ryan Cook. You could see what great guys they are, that they took time out to do us a bumper.
They did.
They took time out to do birthday shout outs for you, and they took time out to do a show bumper. We just love them to death, and we can't wait to see them again in March with Ace. So happy 2025.
That's right.
So long 2024, and we'll see you next time on Guitar Tales.
All righty. Take care. Goodbye, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, what's up? Jeremy here.
Ryan here. And where are we, Jeremy?
We are at Mohegan Sun in Lucasville,
Connecticut.
And surrounding communities.
So we're here to tell you we're having a great show tonight. We're going to have a great show tonight.
Wait. Who do we play with?
Ace Frehley.
We play with Ace Frehley.
We do play with Ace Frehley. And we're here to tell you to go watch Guitar Tales with
Dave Cohen.
Our favorite show. We love it. We've been on there. It's a good time. Those guys are good. A lawyer.
And a pharmacist.
You
know what that means? They got way more money than us.
They sure do. Don't be in a band. Be a pharmacist or a lawyer. We love you guys. Bye.